Hey, it's Jacob. Welcome to this new video. Today I want to talk about learning AI. So, do you need today to learn AI? Is that a good investment in your time or not, right? Is that something that you really need? And you might have thought, like, well, this is a lot of investment. This is a big investment. Do I really want to do that? And the question is, this is my answer to that is not necessarily. Although, like, that's something that is really new. Like, there are conditions for you for it to be worth it to learn AI. And if you're not doing those conditions, I'm going to argue that it's not necessarily the best move right now to learn AI, and I'm going to explain why. Um, so let's talk about like the different things that people are talking about when we are learning AI. And they talk about matrices, for example. You need to learn about like matrix multiplications, like how do you do that, like all the math behind it. So basically like math and linear algebra also, like that's one of the big thing. Algorithms, if you don't know about algorithms, you need to learn how they work, like pattern recognition, I think it's called, all of those types of things. Python, that's the programming language that you need to know. There is also just programming in general. There is also like data science. You need to know about data science, otherwise, like there is no way that you're gonna make it. You need to know about statistics, like probability and all that, right? Stats. So that is like the entire thing of AI, right? Like that's, I mean, it's just actually, like it's not even the entire thing. That's just a very small part of what people tell you, like you need to know in order to move forward and in order to get started, right? It's like you can get started, but first you need to know about all of those things. It's like, well, okay, maybe now that really depends on what you want to do with it. If you want to actually like do like create things based like products based on AI, then I would argue that those things are not necessarily the best way to go. And this is because like those things are really good if you want to apply for an engineering job in a big company. Sure, they're going to ask for you to learn all of those things. But if you want to actually create products, this is not necessarily the best way to go. And why the thing is, these things are, it's not that they are outdated, because there are things, there are fundamental things, but they are not necessarily what we need to know today in order to move forward. And I'm going to give you a few examples of that. But first, like if you want to be part of my contact, you can click on the link in the description. You'll get like exclusive content from me. But let's move forward now. So what we need to understand is here, I'm going to take the example of like I'm gonna create like a just let's talk about neural networks. Those are like the new things in AI. Those are the things that have been that people are using in order to create like a lot of AI products, right? Neural networks. So those are pretty. Those are very important to learn. But you notice that in everything that I talked about so far, like everything you need to learn in order to get started in AI, it didn't involve knowing about like neural networks. Why? And this is because like algorithms, derivatives. I didn't talk about but like basically it's math, right? Math, derivatives, like algorithms and Python and all that. It uses it's what is necessary in order to get started to learn the neural networks. Allegedly, right? That's what people are telling you. You need to know all of that so that you can get started and progressively, maybe years down the line, you can like create neural networks here. But like at first you need to do like all that training, you need all that background. And that could have been true like maybe a few years ago, but today this is not necessarily the case. So the reason why people are telling you that is because they're talking about like creating and optimizing neural networks here. Like how do you create a neuron, and how do you create like here, this is a layer. How do you actually like compute the layer? And how do you like build it, create the program or the algorithms in order to like compute those things, and how do you move from one layer to the other, right? Like that's also like a function of like you need to know about the parameters and the sigmoid function, the activation function, all of those things. This you need to learn in order to move from one layer to the next. So that's how it's called, like the function here. And that's all of that is great. And you sure, if you are going to optimize those things, then you need to know about all of that. But the thing is, optimizing neural networks is something that could have been useful when we didn't know that neural networks were a proven technology. And that's something. Let's clear that up. And this is what I wanna talk about here. The neural network are a proven technology. And that now, today, we know that this is the case. This is not something that we knew a few years ago. And that has been proven in terms of like, there are like, you can look for like the different ways that it has been used. But like, we can talk about like Tesla and full self-driving cars, or like AlphaGo, or all of those different companies that have been using those neural networks in order to do things that nobody else could do, right? If we just talk about Tesla, they are doing self-driving cars with with a neural network approach, and they are like they are not they didn't succeed yet. Like there is still things that they need to do, but like compared to the other type of people that didn't do that approach, and that did a lot of different types of algorithms in order to self-drive the cars, they're like very, very advanced compared to them, like years and years, right? They're by far the best company in terms of self-driving cars. I'm not talking about like the company itself or the sales that they were doing or all of that. Like I don't really care about that. I'm just talking about like the technology and the fact that neural networks have been a proven technology that actually works. So what's the point that I'm trying to get to here? The point is, today we don't need to care about like how to implement neural networks or how to optimize neural networks. This is not what we need right now. Because let me give you an analogy here. Let's say you have like a computer, and let's say like, I don't know, like back in the days, like years and years ago, when you wanted to build a computer, and you needed to be like an engineer, and you needed to learn about like transistors, right? How the transistors work, and then you're gonna like create like a CPU or a GPU or whatever, all of those things. You needed to go from like the very fundamental things and move on to like, creating the computer. But like it was a lot of studies and a lot of like engineering, because it's electrical engineering basically that you needed to learn. But what are we doing today? If we let me ask you, like, let's say you want to build a computer for you today. What are you going to do? Well, you're going to go into ask for someone who knows about like how to build computers, and is going to explain like what CPU to choose, do you need an NVMe, or do you need like what type of hard drive basically? Do you need a GPU? Do you need like RAM? What type of RAM do you need to use for optimizing your computer? And then you're gonna buy those things separately and then assemble them, right? And then what type of cable do you need in order to assemble those things? Basically, like those are very, very different things from. So this is very different from this, right? This is engineering, and this is just basically like a practitioner that this is the practical knowledge that you need to know in order to move forward, in order to create the computer here. So it's basically something that is completely different. Like again, this knowing that thing here, knowing about engineering, knowing about transistors, knowing about like everything that you want to know, like in terms of electrical engineering, this is not necessarily going to help with that, right? A lot of engineers have no idea about those things. They don't know about that because it's a different thing. Again, so this is not at the transistor level that things are the knowledge that you need or not is not at the transistor level because it's not where we are at today. And it's kind of the same thing for neural networks. The neural networks here, we don't need to know about how to optimize and how to create them. We already have the math behind that and the algorithms. All of those things, they have been done already, and we need to know how to use them. So this is really what I want you to take away from this video. We need to know about how to use them. This is really, instead of learning to implement things, we need to know how to use those things that have been implemented. So basically, we can use the neural networks as something that is already working and keep building on that. So the point is to keep building on the things that we have already instead of like trying to optimize them. And quite frankly, that's already been done. Like I was talking about Tesla, but like the easiest example is all the large language models like ChatGPT, all of those things. They have been Grok or whatever. They have been using neural networks in order to. This is what's under the hood of a large language model. It's just a way to work and a way to use neural networks. They don't really care about optimizing the neural networks. This is a different game. And because the new thing right now today is going to be about using the neural networks the right way instead of like using learning to implement them the right way or learning to make them better. By learning to make them better and by working on making them better, you can work for like 100 years. You're not going to get to a large language model because that's not how it works. This is about a way to use them, not a way to optimize for them. So that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you liked it. And if you want to be part of my contact, you can click on the link in the description and you'll get free content from me. So thank you for watching and see you in the next one.